What's up again, internet? Just like I was saying in the little previous video I posted earlier, I'm back on the road. And I figured while the sun is at its brightest and blindingest, and as I head down Highway 64 towards St. Louis, I might as well fill you in on what's been going on in a nice long form 16:9 aspect ratio. This is just for YouTube, so thank y'all for coming to my YouTube and supporting me, sending me all kinds of love, leaving comments, asking questions, giving me recommendations on places to go. That's something I'm going to talk about. So, I have been recouping at my buddy Robert's house in Louisville, but before that, I was in Johnson City, Tennessee, near Boone's Creek and the Boone Lake. Got to see a lot of really interesting things. Definitely check the Facebook for all that Dr. Enough, grape Dr. Enough, crazy stuff. But while I was there, I did have a job. My job was to help my mother move out of that house, the same house that I grew up in, that I had marriage in, that I had relationships in. It was lots of trauma in that house, and I was trying to clean it out as quickly as possible, get work done. Not to really give too much information, but that did not really go well. My mother and I don't really get along. The support was there from me, but I felt like there was a lack of trust, and it was vocally said that she doesn't trust me. So, what am I doing there? I'm heading back to Vegas. Oh wow, look. Just noticed my light's been on this whole time. Thank you, YouTube video. 2 minutes in. How many people are typing away in the comments? Oh my god, your light is on. Anyway. The last week in Tennessee, I was trying to crunch time, get so much done. We had a dumpster, we were filling it up with trash. It's full every day, filling up the big trash can outside, it seems like. And we just got to a point where I couldn't touch anything. Everything was off limits. I was just told to be stationary and just stay there in stasis. And I got antsy. I wanted to do things. Got basically reprimanded for doing things. And accused of some things that I don't fly with. At that point, it's psychological trauma. She was trying to guilt trip me and tell me that she wanted me to help her, like, assisted suicide, and I absolutely refused on all that stuff. It's like a doctor thing, but it was more like really verbally abusive kind of stuff, and I was going through like panic attacks. I had to get out of there. So my original plan was to leave Johnson City, Tennessee around the 20th to the 22nd, because there was the Gray Fair. I really wanted to see the Gray Fair and get that experience, smell those smells, you know? Ride a ride, maybe? The Cyclone, I remember that one. But that didn't work out. So it was the 15th when all of the drama really crescendoed, and I packed everything up and I left that day. I got out of there. Thankfully, Robert, my heterosexual life mate, known him for years, decades. He's been a massive support through a lot of this. He helped me do a lot of the cleaning out and moving, and was just there for emotional support while I was in Tennessee. And when I am making my way back west, he's basically on the route. So I stopped in Louisville. He's got a guest bedroom for me. He's got a shower I can take there. Like, worth it stop. I spent 3 nights, basically 4 days there, and I was planning on leaving on the 19th, but after that like packing night and just like finalize everything and finalizing the road trip, which I'm going to talk about, I ended up leaving on today. Today is the 20th. It is a Thursday, my time schedule still has me arriving back in Las Vegas around September 1st. Back to my job at Desert Adventures, baby. I got my hat right here. I can't wait to see the river again. I'm gonna jump straight in. It's one of my first destinations when I get to Boulder City, is just get there, jump straight in the water. I've got my Desert Adventures clothes on anyway. I can't wait to smell the smells and feel the sun out there, and especially feel the water before it gets too cold. It's perfect temperatures right now. It's nice and hot. It's perfect for swimming. Just make sure you wear the sunscreen or cover up, hat, sunglasses, all 9 yards. But let's talk about the road trip. So, destinations along the way. There's many of them. And y'all were there with me with the trip all the way out here. Hopefully, if not, you haven't seen those videos, what are you doing? Check the channel, watch them all. Come back to this point here because we're on the middle of the road trip. We're on the way back. The last half of the trip. We're heading from Louisville to St. Louis area. Even though the last time I went to St. Louis, I didn't really love it. I was willing to give it another chance, but in my Google searching, I found a few other little things that I would like to check out while I'm out there. So, wish me luck on that, because I've got my GPS set. It got me onto the highway, even though that took almost an hour. Louisville, your traffic is messed up. Thanks to Google Maps, it took me the longest way. Never trust Google Maps, always do your double checking. Before I knew it, I was already in the midst of Louisville traffic. So, but got through all that, finally on the highway. The roads here in the roads here in Indiana leading to Illinois are nice and smooth so far. Speed limit is 70, cruising. And the car feels nice and light. I actually was able to keep a lot of things for storage at my buddy Robert's house. If times go hard, I just press a button on the phone and Robert knows to just liquidate all that stuff, sell everything. Old Magic cards, PlayStation 3, PlayStation, other games, consoles, Xbox One is left there. I do have packed in my clothes, completely unnecessary. What am I going to do with the camping? A full Xbox 360 system, all set up, ready to go, and a few games. So I'm set on that. I think I even have a DVD or two, so I can watch that on my laptop, which is right behind me, if I want to dig it out. But on this road trip, I am going to peruse thrift stores and other things like that. I've always loved thrifting tours, and this first, 1/8 of the road trip does go through some pretty rural areas, which has very interesting thrift stores. So, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to find out where I'm at in the world, and drop some recommendations in the chat on the way back. I will take your recommendations. I normally respond to every comment, as toxic as that might be. But I digress. Let me talk more about the road trip and my ideal plan and a few questions that I have for y'all. So, we're going from Louisville to St. Louis, but I'm going a little bit south of St. Louis. There's a place called the Little Grand Canyon. And there's a few other just nice green scenic areas with waterfront. Like seeing stuff like that. So I'm going to check that out. And I should get there right at nightfall, which is crazy how this time schedule is going to work on my way back. The days were shorter on the way east because I was following the opposite direction of the sun. Now I'm chasing the sunset this entire road trip back, basically. That's going to make my days longer, and it just means the sun's going to be in my eyes consistently. Thankfully, I've always got my handy-dandy sunglasses, and I can always get more. Y'all have seen me wearing these throughout the entirety of the entire channel, but look at them. They're changing from colorful to all black. It's quite crazy. My hair just be doing what it wants to do lately. It's time for a haircut, mustache trim, even though it's on fleek. It's on fleek. But we're going to head through east, hit the Little Grand Canyon. I get sidetracked easily. Can y'all tell I got ADHD? We're going to keep on heading west, where I have a choice, because I'm heading through Missouri this time on the way back, which I've headed through Missouri before, and I might actually stop at a restaurant called Lancaster's, but I got enough food. I'll show you here in a minute my food stores. But that restaurant is so great. Check out Lancaster's. But as I head through Missouri, my nighttime destinations could be one of two things tomorrow night. That would either be the Lake Ozark, which is part of the Ozarks, which I've never seen the Ozarks. You've got to check that out. And one of my friends, Chell, on Facebook, check him out. He's a thrift reseller, does Whatnot and Facebook Live auctions and sales. I've bought lighters from him. I've got actually some things for him because he's a destination on this trip, but I digress. He told me I have to visit Branson, Missouri. He told me it's a little Vegas in the middle of Missouri. And I'll admit, the entire time I've been out here, July and June and a little bit of April, all that stuff, I am very ready to get back, homesick as all get out from August down. So it would be nice to see a little bit of that Vegas again, even if it's not actually Vegas. I do remember a time I drove through Texas and there was a town called Vegas, and I was like, what's going on? And the next one was Miami. I was like, what the heck is going on? Anyway, these towns, they can be named whatever they want. I'm sure y'all out there probably live near a very interesting named exit off the highway, interesting little town. I always remember in road trips from Tennessee to Florida, we'd pass by a little place called Jupiter. Always wanted to stop there. And then one day we actually stopped there on the road trip. There's nothing there, no gas stations, no houses. Very bizarre. So, but that's adventure, y'all. Road trip adventure. I'm very excited to get into that. Which we are into that already. About 60 miles down, about an hour into driving. The sun be doing sunset-y things. We're gonna speed up a little bit. We're passing a semi-truck, y'all. Hold your breath. After we make some passes here, the road clears up, I'll show y'all the car, but I'm continuing to tell you about the road trip. I keep getting sidetracked. Let's stay on subject, y'all. On the road trip from either the Ozarks or Branson, leave in the comments what your choices are. I continue west into Nebraska, where I connect with Highway 80, and my speed significantly increases. I pass through sections that I've already passed through to make my way to my friend Chell, who I just mentioned. He lives in like the left corner of Nebraska, which I was like thinking on it. He's like, you've got to come by here on your way back. I stopped there on the way out here. So he's like, you got to come by on your way back. I'm going to show you so much stuff. I'm like, I got you. I'm down for that. So that's one of my destinations on hopefully night 3, if not night 4 of the road trip. Fingers crossed, night 3. He does have a bed he can offer me, so that'll be nice. Maybe I could do laundry there. I'm going to ask about that. That would be nice. I have been blessed by people's generosity and kindness on this road trip, and there is something to be said about that. In road tripping, you either hate it or you absolutely love the open road like I do. You run into the most interesting people, and you find some of the most amazing acts of kindness just out of the blue in the middle of nowhere on the road, on the highway, heading out. It is truly a vibe. There is river magic. I know of that. It's natural. It's very amazing to be out there, visceral to be on the water. There is something to be said about the highway and highway magic. I have always been rather lucky, knock on wood. I've not had really any serious close calls on this trip. I'm hoping to not have any. So fingers crossed on that as I am halfway through. But we must continue on. So I'm going to visit Shell in Nebraska, which was a stop on my road trip out here, but I only stopped for like one shower. I was there for an hour and continued on to try and make good time to meet up with my buddy Robert. This time on the way back, I've told people my expected time is September 1st, which gives me about 11 days to make this road trip, which is nice, especially if I can just refill my water bottles, I can eat all this food that I've packed and drink these drinks and be just fine. I'm gonna be okay. I just gotta remember to get out of the car and stretch and do some walks and things like that. Can't sit and drive for 8, 12, 16 hours without some repercussions on that. So I like to take little breaks, hence the thrift stores, which we're getting close to the time thrift stores are likely closing. Need to check on that, maybe hit one right before they close. We shall see. Alright, so we're at another passing section on the highway. I'm going to pass this guy as I tell you what my plan is when I leave Nebraska. So, teach you all a little bit about geography. Right up against Nebraska to the south is Kansas. I've driven through Kansas before. Truly an adventure and a trip, and exactly what you'd expect, and a little bit more, and extreme levels of just that. Fields everywhere, huge tractors. They're like the size of massive city-moving tanks at this point. So I really don't plan on moving through Kansas. Nebraska is, for some reason, a little bit more relaxed. So I'm going to head through Nebraska. I'm going to enjoy that. The roads there are really, really nice as soon as you get away from Lincoln, Nebraska, which I may or may not have to pass through. So I remember how rough those highways were in Lincoln. So I'll make those choices when I leave Shell's house. But my plan is to cut down into Colorado and head down south, just in between Denver on the south and Fort Collins on the north. I'm going to head through Loveland, Colorado, and head straight up into the mountains to the headwaters of the Colorado River, my river. Very excited about that. And that is going to start like the true adventure, where I don't have anybody lined up to offer me a place to stay or a shower or anything like that. So might have to get some quaint hotels, but we'll see on that because I don't have much money. We're going to have to figure a lot of that stuff out. I did spend a lot. I did not receive much while I was out here in Tennessee, but I have enough to get back and hopefully sustain myself for a little while. Fingers crossed. But once I reach the headwaters of the Colorado River, I'm going to follow that river down, like just inches away from me, just having my hand in the water at all times. So I'm going to follow little by roads, follow highways, and follow hopefully no dirt roads, no off-country, back-country roads in this loaded down Honda Civic. But if we get to see the Colorado River, we get to see the Colorado River. That's what it's all about. So that's the plan. As I head down the Colorado River, I'm going to head through Utah, into Lake Powell, into Arizona, follow the Grand Canyon, and then boom, there's Las Vegas right there at Lake Mead. And then I'm home. I'm in Boulder City. And if y'all didn't know, the plans with my mother to get her to move out here was something that I had no choice but to bank on, because my funds have been rather limited with my current job. I try endlessly to make a lot of money and work hard and make the company proud and make us $1 billion company, you know. But every job has its limitations. I hit my ceiling for as much money as I could make right as soon as I had to leave for this road trip. Thankfully, I was able to save and use a lot of those funds to accomplish many things and see many places and meet all my people and see all these new people and just adventure. So that's what it's all about. Why would I spend my money on securing a place that I didn't know if I'm going to need in Boulder City with that money until I got back? So when I get back to Boulder City, I actually have a bit of a problem. I don't have the room that I was staying at in that mansion anymore. That is not a thing. Surprise, shocker. I didn't fit in a mansion, but it was nice while it lasted, and I appreciate those people endlessly. I hope they speak highly of me. Let's just leave it at that. We did leave on a bit of a disagreement, and that pains me tremendously. But I am going to get back to Boulder City through blood, sweat, and tears. I will be living in Boulder City, and I've got a few friends lined up to help me make that dream reality. Not to mention just my main job, Desert Adventures, the lifeblood of my last 3 years living in Boulder City, going on 4 years. So they're going to help me get back to just like a normal life out there with a roof over my head. But if I need a little bit of like just support at the beginning because I don't have the money for a deposit or a relatively good credit to get myself into a new place, which my credit is shot, please don't ask about it. It's going to take years for it to come back. Fingers crossed it comes back at all. In the meantime, I got to rely on kindness and friendship and just like somebody who trusts me to pay them, which I never shorted any payments on rent, anything like that. I always consider that very high on the list. When it comes to credit cards, I had to actually just stop making payments on some of my credit cards. Hopefully y'all don't have to go through situations like that, but that's what tanked my credit card accounts and definitely raised my scores all the way through the roof, or raised them the wrong way, let's just say. But that's something I got to deal with over the coming decade, and really just cash rules all. If the weather stays cool and doesn't get too cold, my plan is to live in a Honda Civic down by the river. I have a tent, I have a sleeping bag, I have a table, I have a chair, I have a jet boil, I have a hammock now that is just an amazing piece of technology. So I'm well set. If everything goes south and I have to rely on what I have packed in my car, which give me a second, I'll give you a little tour. But I've got at least 2 friends for sure that have mentioned that I could stay with them just for like little short periods of time, which is nice. I got a shower, I got a laundry, I can do things that I need to, and then sleeping in my car is not so bad. Just got to make sure I don't make anybody mad. And I know where the good camping sites are in Boulder City, so I'm set when it comes to out there. But I do need to get myself back on my feet because I was relying a little bit heavily on my mom moving out with me and selling our old childhood house, and then we would have lived together because she is definitely getting to an age where she needs constant support and somebody there with her. And I could, with my schedule at Desert Adventures, it's busy, but it's not that busy. I have plenty of downtime to where I could take care of my mother with one expert person's help. They could teach me even more. I've been learning wilderness first aid and studying it while I've been out here, patient assessments and things like that, getting different vitals and LORs, things that EMTs know about. Emergency situations can arise with the elderly, so my mom is in that category. Not only did she wind up in the hospital when I was on the way out here for something completely unrelated to why I came out in the first place, which was a heart attack. So she's had that. She's had a stroke in the past. She's broken a hip, broken her shoulder. More recently, when she fell down the stairs, she broke her collarbone. She's been beating herself up lately. Not to mention, depression has always been an issue, and bipolar and things like that. Like I mentioned, this is getting deep into family stuff. If you're not into this, please listen with care. I apologize, but I'm letting y'all know what I've been going through and just kind of venting for the last few days, so I appreciate you being here. And hopefully you can hear me just well. But as I head out there, I'm one person down. I should be heading out with my mom and a moving van with the stuff that we were going to save, which is like a long stretch that we were going to save anything from that. That old house was just like a hoarder situation. It got really bad. I had to clean out rat feces and just old, ancient, rotted food, maggots, awful things in that house I discovered. Awful smells I hope to never smell again. I'm a strong man, but I always have my limits, and that took like days off my work schedule because I had to recoup from that. Same thing with like the flea market. When I did that, hit new record highs. With my mother, that still wasn't enough. I gave her all the money, it still wasn't enough. After that, and coming down from that, I had to take a few days just to recoup myself. So a lot of that work in Johnson City took everything out of me. And on those days where I just recouped, I didn't exercise or get out in the sun. I became very pasty. I got a round belly. Road tripping is not something that actually builds muscle, so I can't wait to get back to work, kayaking on the river, loading boats, supporting self-guided adventures, taking hikes and bike rides. It's the perfect time of year for that, as well as camping trips. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, I lead those tours just out of Las Vegas. So please, come by and see us. I'll show you my drink. My mouth is getting dry. I've got the generic Red Bull from Aldi's. It's called Red Thunder. That's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Getting to the point where this is gonna be like a massive upload, but just needed to give everybody a good update on what has been going on, why I'm hitting the road when I'm hitting the road now and not when I said I was a little earlier. But it's all gravy. I got plenty of time. Fingers crossed, and send me good vibes that I'm gonna make it. And let me turn the camera as we're coming up to a really pretty looking overview. It's alright through the windshield. It's almost a little nicer over on the sides. That window's a little dirty. Traffic moving by. Speed limit out here is 70. Using the adaptive cruise control, it's keeping me behind this truck at a nice clip. Still not fast as like people passing, but yeah dude, we're in farm territory out here. Ooh, there's a rest area coming up. Next rest area closed. Interesting. Hopefully y'all can see some of that. I'm not just like showing you just like a dirty window. But check out the car. Look at the setup I have here. And we just hit a bump. So did you hear anything shift? I think we packed it pretty well. Not to mention, I have full visibility that's been blinding y'all this entire time, I'm sure, out the rear window. My laptop, my 2 bags of clothes, which have 5 days of outfits in them apiece. Perfect for an 11-day road trip. I've got my toiletries bag. My bandanas rode with me this entire trip because I wanted to keep them. And then here beside me is like my river backpack, which has, at a moment's notice, anything I could ever need. And I've got little stash spots hidden all through the car. If somebody tried to break in or steal anything on this road trip, they would have to give up in frustration because, my God, things are really squirreled away in this car, not to mention myself. So you can see behind me on both sides is a nice black knitted blanket from my last relationship. I kept that stuff and loved it, and I'm still loving it to this day. So if you're watching this, thank you for the blanket. It's like 8 feet long, so I can wrap it around myself as a sleeping bag when I go to sleep tonight, if I choose to go to sleep in my car. Which I did see on the road trip. There's a casino on the way. I don't gamble, but hey, casino culture is fun. You get to walk in there and smell the smell of 1995 cigarette smoke everywhere, and just see some really interesting people really enjoying themselves. But you know what, y'all? There's a rest area right here. I was gonna stop at it, but now I'm second guessing it. We'll go on to another rest area. I do love a rest area though, y'all. Let's check it out as it passes by. That one looks alright. You know, vending machine shack, all that kind of stuff. But touch my fuzzy rose for good luck. I did rub the Buddha belly today. I have this little jade Buddha that I keep with me. You gotta rub the Buddha belly every day for luck. So I'm all set for this road trip. I'm well rested. I left really late in the day. You can see the sun beating on my face. I left at like 5 p.m. Time is irrelevant, y'all. I just knew the sun was shining. And here lately, the sun is getting to its like highest points in the day, and we're getting longer and longer days as time goes on here. I see brake lights. Why do I see brake lights? Anyway, this road trip is going to be really interesting as I head west. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be chasing the sun, so that means I'll have an extra few hours of daylight, which is really, really cool. Passing by some interesting transport. You know, I do really enjoy rumble strips. I really do enjoy road tripping. I think I would enjoy a hauling job like that. I've even thought about like truck driving as a job. Oh my god, the truck in front of me is getting off the highway. Open roads. About as open as could be. But check out all this green, y'all. I'm still not going to get over how green it is out here. And neither should y'all. If you live in an area that's green, be thankful for it. Mojave Desert is going through one hell of a drought. This year is probably going to be a very low point. I keep hearing some pretty dreadful things. I think we're going to make it. I always look at the mead situation half full rather than half empty. So let's just be hopeful we don't end up moving to the desert and then all of a sudden they run out of water, which Vegas will never run out of water. But if the river gets diverted to a point where it dries up, I'm out of a job kayaking, that's for sure. Not too many people really want to take bicycle tours in the Mojave Desert, but we would have to focus on that, make that our main job, do the hikes as well. The hot springs should always run. They come up naturally from the earth. But yeah, if you're interested in all that stuff, definitely check out Desert Adventures. And if you call them, just ask for Holmes to be your tour guide. Wish me luck, y'all. The sun is going to tan me through this windshield, I'm sure. Or burn me, one of the two. But as I head on down the dusty trail, with Jay bobbling away by my side, I wish y'all a happy afternoon, week, fortnight, whatever you want to, whatever you desire. I hope you get that job. Oh, that reminds me, I might get another job when I get to Boulder City, which should help me get back on my feet much quicker. Actually got a response from an employer. We're going to set up an interview as soon as I get back. Very excited for that. But it's nothing to do with kayaking. It's just a menial part-time job to fill the minimal hours. So, yes, need that kind of stuff. I tried to work at Domino's. 36 years old. What am I doing working at Domino's? But I remembered how much I made as a delivery driver, and I would do that again. The Domino's of Boulder City has their own delivery cars. But they heard my story about how I go camping, and they said, yeah, we don't want that. So, out of luck. The place that I'm talking to now might not like it either, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to talk to them. Find some things out. I'm always, of course, destined to work very interesting jobs. So, probably going to find an interesting job. So wish me luck on that. And I wish you luck on all of your next adventures. And I hope videos like this that I'm making, these little short clips to these long form videos, inspire you to get out. Maybe you're in a rough situation, you need to go. You really don't need that much money to fill your car and drive. You need money for emergencies. You need insurance on your car. These things are crucial. You need to check your tire pressures before you take a road trip. Things like that. And take care of your car. Don't go speeding down the highway. No speeding tickets at all on this road trip. At all. But this video's getting long. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. If you were here all the way to the end, give me your best or how you would translate that in the comments. So I'll see y'all in the next little video when I'm further west. Cheers. Yaha! Yeah!